There are drones that shoot missiles and drones that are missiles in themselves. Loitering, Switchblade, Kamikaze, or suicidal drones are some of the names given to them. So you're probably wondering what a Kamikaze drone is. During World War II, the Japanese name Kamikaze was connected with a Japanese special strike force. The unit's military pilots would crash their fighter jets into the enemy, killing themselves in the suicide operation while capturing the enemy. Since World War II, the term kamikaze has been linked with similar suicide operations. In the case of a drone, it's more like a mechanical bomb that hovers near the target until the timing is right. The Switchblade flies above a target region, gazing down with its day and night cameras and communicating the images to the user through a handheld joystick. When a suitable target is found, the operator instructs the drone to dive into and detonate, thus the moniker kamikaze. Unlike bigger drones like the American MQ-9 Reaper and the Turkish TB2 Bayraktar, the small, sluggish, low-flying drones are meant to be launched and piloted by troops in the field. Switchblade drones are equipped with a two-way radio link and electro-optical camera that allows the drone operator to see the battlefield in real time. The drone swoops down and detonates a tiny explosive payload when the operator locates and designates a target. To be clear, the Switchblade 300 model's range isn't great: 10 kilometers or 6.2 miles, 15 minutes of endurance, and a top speed of 63 miles per hour. Switchblade drones are one-way weapons with a single usage. There is no landing gear or strategy for recovery. They are meant to acquire their own information and then self-destruct on an enemy target when there is a reasonable possibility that an enemy target is within range. Some analysts predict the introduction of semi-autonomous weapons will have the same dramatic impact on the ground combat as the machine gun. They can get over standard defenses to target infantry forces anywhere on the battlefield, and yet they only cost $6,000 each, compared to $150,000 for a Hellfire missile that Predator and Reaper drones routinely launch. This skill may be able to save the lives of American troops. The Switchblade contains a function that enables the user to control the explosion radius, so it may, for example, kill a vehicle's driver but not a passenger. 2 seconds before contact, the weapon can be waved off. That wave-off capacity is noteworthy in light of the September disaster in Afghanistan when the military murdered 10 people, 7 of whom were children, in a drone attack that authorities now admit was a sad error. According to a Pentagon investigation, the hit crew was ignorant of the presence of youngsters when they decided to fire. The Switchblade is equipped with cameras that display a target seconds before it is hit. However, it's frequently employed in combination with a tiny surveillance drone to get a better picture of the battlefield. Types of Switchblade. The Switchblade 300 and Switchblade 600 are two different models of Switchblade drones. The Switchblade 300 is a fast deployable device that can attack targets up to 6 miles away while being difficult to identify and track. It's a tiny unmanned aerial vehicle, or UAV, designed for platoon-sized infantry troops and designed to fit into a Marine's Alice bag. It launches from a tube, glides towards the target, and collides with it while blowing up its warhead. It weighs just 5.5 pounds. To detect, track, and engage with both fixed and moving targets, it employs GPS, daylight and infrared cameras, and aided target tracker. It can go between 63 and 100 kilometers and has a range of 10 kilometers. 10 to 15 minutes of use, roughly. While this renders it unsuitable for scouting missions, it is perfect for attacking long-range targets and relieving pinned-down forces. The Switchblade is powered by an electrical engine and is extremely silent, making it hard to detect or even intercept. It works similarly to the cordless tube-launched, optically tracked, wire-guided tow missiles, with the exception that the tow cannot loiter. Its warhead is noteworthy. It can destroy light armored vehicles with an explosive charge comparable to that of a 40mm grenade. This is done with a forward-firing shotgun-style concentrated blast that fires pellets in the same direction as the missile. It may be set to explode at a specific height and altered mid-flight if necessary. There have been several variants of the Switchblade 300 as well, which we will touch on briefly before moving on to the Switchblade 600. The unarmed Blackwing is the first Switchblade variation. It is comparable in weight and size to the Switchblade 300 and has proven helpful in command and relay operations from submarines, surface ships, and unmanned boats. Switchblade 600. The Switchblade 600 could be launched from both air and ground stations. A 2-axis 4-sensor gimbal integrated sensor suite with dual electro-optical and infrared sensors is installed on the missile. In its conventional configuration, it can hit a target from standoff distance of over 40 kilometers. And once over the target area, it may hover for up to 20 minutes to identify the target before descending onto it. Of course, the Switchblade 600 retains the smaller system's wave-off and re-engagement capabilities. The cruise speed is above 112 kilometers an hour with a dash speed of 185, which adds kinetic energy to the anti-armor warhead tailored to the customer's specifications. Depending on the type of target and the surrounding circumstances, the user may also choose the best assault angle. Because of AeroVironment's modular approach, the Switchblade 600 will be able to adapt to the mission. As of now, a percentage of US DoD entities are lining up for the system, so new types of launch systems such as one devoted to anti-radiation missions to neutralize enemy radars may be developed. According to AeroVironment, the current warhead weighs about 5 times that of the Switchblade 300, giving the weapon significant lethality. The airframe is 1.3 meters in length and weighs 22.7 kilograms. There is no information on the wingspan, but the architecture is the same as the smaller system, with 2 folding tandem wings. The whole system weighs 54.4 kilograms, which includes the SB600, the launcher, and the fire control system, which consists of a tablet and the long-range antenna. So how useful are Switchblades for Ukraine? The Switchblade is especially beneficial to Ukrainian defensive troops since it allows them to hit targets beyond enemy lines that would otherwise be impossible to reach. Drone assaults on Russian targets in the back will demoralize the invaders, with even headquarters and supply units kilometers behind the front lines' susceptibilities. One issue that Ukrainian soldiers have is a lack of weaponry capable of completing interdiction duties, such as attacking targets like a gasoline convoy or ammo depots and higher headquarter units beyond the Switchblade 300's 4-mile range. Ukraine might utilize such a weapon to counter Russian long-range artillery shelling on Ukrainian cities. Is the United States the only country with such a drone? Not at all. Despite the fact that the Kamikaze is the most advanced of this type of drone, Russia, China, Israel, Iran, and Turkey all have their own versions. The Pentagon claims that Iranian-backed militias have employed tiny drones in 10 strikes on US locations in Iraq just this year. Last year, Azerbaijan utilized tiny Turkish-made drones against the Armenian military, putting an end to a long-running standoff over a disputed region. Drones are shown attacking artillery, tank, and soldier emplacements protected by trenches in a video provided by Azerbaijan. Russia has also employed similar suicide drones to undertake attacks in Ukraine following its invasion on several occasions. Even when overhead aircraft like fighter planes, helicopters, and bigger drones aren't available, portable drones provide air support to tiny ground forces. Loitering drones exacerbate the problem of hostile drones already present. Rather than worrying about a drone relaying their position to artillery or an assault chopper, troops must now regard every hostile drone as a possible suicide drone, ready to drop down on them and detonate a devastating bomb at any time. The next phase is to swarm loitering drones with strength of an artillery barrage to attack them en masse. Every contemporary army must now consider how to combat them. So, how do you feel about the Switchblade? Do you believe explosive rage will grow in the future? And if so, what do you think the appropriate counter for a beat like this would be? Let us know what you think in the comments area. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.